Rim Country Forum today being brought to you by ITD Group Computer Services, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, the Holiday Cruises and Tours with Alana Wallace, and Banner Payson Medical Center. Well, good. Finally, Friday morning. Thank you, Lord. It is 5 minutes past 9 o'clock, 72 degrees. Ah, yes, it's Friday, and that means it's time to talk to the folks that know everything there is to know about movies, and maybe even a little bit more. With us in the studio, your hometown movie guys. We have Andy, we have Craig, we have Tina, and we've got information about everything going on at the Sawmill Theater. So first of all, welcome to all of you for being with us today. We appreciate you being here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And you know, we like being here.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
This is fun for us.
I even get up.
Wow. Yeah. And you don't look grumpy at all today.
Oh, just wait.
Oh, so you got a future in poker then.
Really.
All right. Anyway, a lot of different things going on at the Sawmill Theaters that we're anxious to tell you about. Certainly, right at the top of the proverbial list is something that actually they had normally their movies open up on Fridays, but they had a special preview last night of the Avengers Endgame. And Craig, you were saying before we started today that you had quite a turnout last night.
But we did, yeah.
Really?
Record turnout for a Thursday night showing.
Really?
That's really how this is going, not just in the United States, but across the world.
Right.
We're in the middle of a movie event that's happening right now.
Now, I think if I remember correctly, here a couple weeks ago, you said that there were some people that were predicting that this could top 500 million in the first 3 days.
Well, we're looking at 300. We're looking at 300 million for the United States.
Well, right.
It's already done over 300 million overseas.
Wow.
I did $60 million last night.
Holy
Just from the Thursday nights, that's a record.
Right.
So yeah, this thing is, it's really the only question here is just how many records it's going to break.
Right.
AMC theaters, I was just reading this morning, their stocks actually jumped 3.3%. They have set aside 58,000 showtimes and 10 million seats for this weekend.
Wow.
That's just AMC theaters.
10 million seats.
10 million seats, 58,000 showtimes over the weekend.
Wow.
So yeah, this is all about Avengers this weekend, and
So unlike some movies, this is getting a very broad release. I mean, every theater that could possibly have
yes,
this.
yeah. This is, well, this is Disney, and when Disney does these things, they go big, yeah. And like I said, this is the only crazy thing is this might not actually be the biggest movie of the year. Disney has a couple more coming up that could pass this up even, and that's just crazy.
Now, is it in keeping with all this Marvel, or not, but I mean the Avengers, I mean they have more Avengers stuff coming out, or?
Well, this is the 22nd movie from the Marvel Universe.
Wow.
These things have done $18.6 billion.
Well, it's small wonder why they keep doing these things.
These things make money. Yeah, and these just aren't, this isn't just a superhero movie. I mean, these are world-class actors. The writing on these things is incredible. This is getting great reviews on Metacritic. There's development here. It's not just special effects. I mean, that is there too.
So you get the eye candy, but there's actually a storyline worth paying
definitely.
attention to. Wow.
Definitely. You'll laugh, you'll cry. It's
And you can go out and buy the T-shirt.
Yeah, no, it's a really good movie. Got to watch it yesterday morning.
Right.
Kind of caught that one early, and it's worthy.
Hold it. There was a pre-screening yesterday morning.
Yes.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
You don't belong to the cult of special.
But I need to tell you all though, I gotta come clean. Last weekend, I watched not one, but 2 movies. I saw The Green Book.
Oh, excellent.
And really, really enjoyed that a bunch.
Yeah.
And I watched another movie that we've talked about recently, and The Mule.
Oh, excellent.
And I
Excellent.
thoroughly enjoyed both of those. I thought they were great. Whether there was a departure from historical fact or not, I found them highly entertaining, and I never found myself grumpy once, Tina.
It's okay. While I was watching it, I wasn't grumpy. It was only afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because revisionist history is one of my grumpy things.
Well, anyway, eventually, I just wanted to say that eventually I do see movies. I'm just cheap and I watch them at home a lot. But I'm anxious to get out to the Sawmill Theaters and check out the Avengers Endgame. If you haven't heard about this movie, after the devastating events of Avengers Infinity War in 2018, the universe is in ruins. With the help of remaining allies, the Avengers assemble once more in order to undo Thanos, his actions, and restore order to the universe. And I guess, I read in some of the reviews that they kind of stepped up some of the humor in here, but it sounds like from what you were saying, they also, I mean, there's some sad and tragic stuff too, so you'll go through a myriad of emotions.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like I said, this is a very well-written movie. These are not just superhero movies, there's a lot to them.
You think this is something that even Andy will give a good review to? Well, that's kind of a stretch though, isn't it?
Andy said he cried more than at Titanic, so I'm.
Wow.
Yeah, this is, Craig mentioned that the quality of the actors. I tried to count them up, and I don't know if I got the right number, but there are about 20 people appearing in this movie that have been nominated for or have won Academy Awards.
So these are a lot of actors that you'll know the names of.
Well, a lot of actors that are absolutely terrific actors. And when you see an Academy Award-winning actor with their face 12 feet high, and they're bringing the emotions to the surface of the loss of, for instance, Hawkeye lost his family. In the last Avengers movie, Thanos snapped his fingers, and half of the sentient beings in the galaxy disintegrated into ash.
Wow.
Trillions
Hot time.
of deaths all across the galaxy, some of which were the family members of people that, as Craig said, we've been watching for 21 movies.
And I didn't realize that there'd been that kind of longevity in this series. I mean, 21 movies, good grief.
Yeah, it started in 2008 with Iron Man. Iron Man was the first that kind of kicked off this whole Robert Downey Jr.
I am
Of course, and he's a major actor in this.
Wow.
It is. I mean, the list of people that's in this film is just incredible. And
So it does say Avengers Endgame. Does the game actually end with this movie then?
well, what this is they've done 3 phases in the Marvel universe here, and this is the end of the 3rd phase.
Oh, okay.
So there is some conclusion to this.
Right.
It's not a total end.
Yeah, I was going to say, but wait, there's more.
Yeah, obviously they're going to continue, but they are going on to another phase after this. And we did see, Disney did just complete their merger with Fox, so there's some of the X-Men and Fantastic Four that could come into this now too. So they've got a lot of different directions they can go with this. But
So with your special early screening last night, I take it you filled up all of one theater?
we filled up 2 theaters completely,
Wow.
and then we actually went to a 3rd theater.
So you were rolling that in 3 theaters simultaneously?
Yes,
last night?
yes.
Wow.
How's the popcorn machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk the important stuff here.
It was working hard last night. It was.
Good.
No, and we are doing these. Today we're opening at 1:30 and 6:30. This is a long film,
He said it was 3 hours, huh?
3 hours long. Yes.
But you also mentioned that 3 hours goes by pretty fast. It's not one of these, slow-moving artsy films that where you, sit and want someone to come put you out of your misery. This one keeps you right on the edges.
There's really a lot going on. Yeah.
Very
And it does have, the first 30, 40 minutes you're kind of dealing with, the events of the last film.
Oh, so they're setting the stage.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But like I said, we are doing these in 2D and 3D, the 1:30 and the 6:30, so we've got lots of seats for both showtimes.
Right?
This is a good one.
Very.
This is one of those, we talk about movies you have to see on the big screen, and this is certainly one of them.
Wow, very interesting. Now, we got a caller on the line, so before we lose one, let's see if we can't take it. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Thanks for calling. Hello?
Good job, Randy.
Hey, I answered the phone, I put it on the air, they're not there. Okay, well, anyway. So now, did you go see this yesterday, Andy?
Yes, because I'm a movie heavy hitter. I was invited to a special VIP showing The Avengers Endgame. So yes, I have seen it.
Oh, okay. And so how many saw blades you thrown at this?
4.
4, wow.
Yep. The only quibble I have with it, and it's a quibble.
Oh, I'm guessing no zombies, right?
I'm not sure that's true. I'll have to think about that. But there's a long extended period at the end of the movie that involves a gigantic set piece battle that, although it was fun, wasn't nearly as important to me as the tragedy of the loss of so many people.
Right.
So-
Interesting. And Tina, now,
I
are
have-
you a VIP
But
too?
nobody invited me.
You know, me either.
You were
no,
at work.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Craig?
See, I just turned his microphone off because they didn't invite us, so I figured we'll just keep them out of this part of the
Yeah.
conversation.
However, it is a cultural event, and it got me thinking about movies that have been cultural events, in American culture, the now world culture. Things like Gone with the Wind, these Wizard of Oz. These are, movies that, if a lot of different people see it from a lot of different generations, it's one of the few times where we can come together with cultural references.
Right.
And I think that is important.
One of the things that I'm curious to find out too is, now, Andy, I admire the way you look at movies, and I tend to agree with most of your analysis, with the exception of when we're talking about zombies. But as a movie critic, and now that you've seen this Avengers Endgame, do you think a viewer that had never watched any of the Avenger movies would find Endgame's a really good choice?
Oh, sure.
So you don't necessarily have to have known all these other 21 movies and yada, yada, yada. Just showing up for this one first time out, you'd still be highly entertained.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I
Outstanding.
mean, it's really fun for movie nerds like me to go see this, because there's the backstory going back many movies of all these characters, even third tier kind of characters like the Red Witch, for instance. You see her, and there's references in the movie to the is it the Slovenian Accords, which refers back to something that happened several years ago, several movies back. And Tina talks about mentioned the cultural significance of this. And in the opening credits, I just love Marvel movies. I love movies in general, but boy, these are really good. In the opening soundtrack has Traffic's Mr. Fantasy,
Wow.
which is just wonderful stuff.
Stevie
And
Winwood.
that's the guy.
Yeah.
And Iron Man is, he talks very, very quickly and kind of obliquely, and he's off on a little rant of his own, as Iron Man will do from time to time. And in his rant, he mentions song lyrics from the Beatles and from the Rolling Stones. And just tosses them out as part of his conversation, and not referencing the song or anything.
Right.
He just uses a phrase from a lyric in his conversation.
Right.
And of course, people like me that grew up in the '60s, they immediately pick up on that.
Yeah.
And Marvel is famous for doing this kind of stuff. I mean, it's just terrific movie making. Imagine a modern day Alfred Hitchcock with all the little clever things that he puts into his movie, and then put 20 caffeine fueled movie makers together, and they're saying, ooh, oh, let's put this in, let's put this in, let's put this in. And it's just great.
Well, the good news is they're not all living in a yellow submarine. We have more details for you coming up on that. We're going to be talking more with your hometown movie nerds. We're going to take a quick break and back with more right after this. Back to Room Country Forum, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, 72 degrees. Hey, coming up in the second half hour this morning on Room Country Forum, we're going to be talking with John Landino about the Payson Choral Society. They got something special going on this weekend we want to let you know about. We even have a chance for you to win some tickets coming up for that. Meanwhile, in our first half half hour today, as we do on Fridays, talking with your hometown movie guys. And we've been talking about the Avengers Endgame, which actually debuted here in Payson last night. It's playing at 1:30 and 6:30 each day now. Both of those shows in 2D and 3D, so you can decide which theater you want to go see it in. Also playing at the Sawmill Theaters, The Curse of La Llorona. Now, I don't want to talk to Andy about this because I read his review in the newspaper. What did you see this one, Tina? Do you do?
No.
You don't do scary flicks?
I do scary flicks, but this one did not catch me.
Right. But it has really generated some box office receipts and a pretty darn good return for a low investment.
Oh, yeah. Well, we said that earlier. It's a little bit like a roller coaster ride.
Right.
I mean, it's going to have some chills and thrills, and you're going to jump a couple times. Unlike Avengers Endgame, the character development and writing wasn't the greatest in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good for what it does, or what it is.
And people that like those kind of things, you can get out and see it at 1, 3:10, 5:20, 7:30. It's rated R. And Andy?
Yeah, and this is something that happens every once in a while, and I always like to remark upon it. The leading lady, whose name I can't pronounce, Linda Cardin.
Oh, yeah, her.
Her.
Yeah.
Anyway, she also has a role in the Avengers Endgame.
Oh, wow.
So we have, out of the few movies that we have here playing this week, she's in 2 of them.
So
It happens once in a while, but not too often.
Starting next week, we'll be playing 6 Degrees of Avengers. Also playing at the Sawmill Theaters, Missing Link.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it could be. Missing Link is playing. That's that claymation animated movie. It's rated PG and good for folks of all ages. It plays at 1, 3:10, 5:20, and 7:30. And how's that one been doing so far?
Epic fail.
Really?
I mean, this is...
Now, would you say that because it's claymation and we kind of got over that after Gumby, or?
I think it has to do with their ad. The claymation Sasquatch doesn't look appealing, I think, and I think that turns everybody off.
I'm not sure that a real life Sasquatch would necessarily look appealing to me, but
I don't know. There's a guy in Sasquatch that plays in a commercial for jerky, and he's very appealing. And I think they should have used somebody like him. But they've only made $14 million, the poor devils.
wow. So they've been getting a return on
It
it.
is kind of weird. Maybe it is just that claymation. I think it looks weird myself, but
Well, I think we've gotten spoiled visually with
Sure.
so many of the eye-popping stuff.
it just did get great reviews, though.
Yeah.
It's-
And the bottom line is, how's it been doing at the box office?
Again, he said, yeah, it just hasn't.
So how much did they pay to make this?
100.
Too much.
Oh, like $100 million, and they've had how much back so far?
14.
14. Ouch. Yeah, somebody's going to get promoted to a new job at a different agency.
There's great voice actors in this too. Hugh Jackman's in it, and Zach Galifianakis, and voices you'd recognize, but
Right.
just hasn't equated.
And now another movie playing at the Sawmill Theaters that's one that I really am anxious to go see is The Mustang. The Mustang tells the story of Roman Coleman, a violent convict who is given a chance to participate in a rehabilitation therapy program involving the training of wild Mustangs, and apparently they team him up with a horse that's about as wild as he is. It's rated R, plays at 1:30, 4:30, and 7:30. And Tina,
I loved it.
how many thumbs up?
Both of mine plus my toes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to go there.
I like
So,
it. Yeah.
that's
No,
good.
it's a beautiful little movie. I mean, it is slow, it is pensive, it is sweet, and
Pensive.
it is not sugary, airy-fairy.
Okay.
It's really nice.
So, but you go away feeling good after this movie?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yes, because the character has opened up somewhat and grounded himself in
And-
some good things.
And no, because the butler did it?
I don't want to give it away, but it's not a sugar-coated ending.
Right. Interesting. Well, so that again plays at 1:30, 4:30, and 7:30. Also playing at the Sawmill. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And this one is a movie that really deserves to be seen, but as Tina said, made with a very low budget, just a little over $1 million to make
Yeah.
it. But
Robert Redford produced it, and it's a
but
Sundance.
at the box office, it's only brought in million, which means that Tina and about 6 other people are the only ones that have seen it. It's very sad because it's a
So,
totally
Jason, go
worthy
see
movie.
it.
So you like the movie itself?
I didn't see it.
What?
Oh, okay. So what,
So
why are we talking to him, right?
There's no zombies in it.
I saw Shazam.
Which is the next movie we need to talk about. And Shazam, that's about Billy Batson, is a streetwise 14-year-old who can magically transform into an adult superhero, Shazam. And I think Andy, you had mentioned before that this is kind of has some similarities to that the movie Big, where Tom Hanks wakes up and all of a sudden he's an adult. And there's some scenes from that movie that just thinking of them put a real smirk on my face. But this one has got a lot of that style of thing where all of a sudden you got a 14-year-old kid that can turn into a superhero and go kick some rear end and all that.
Yeah, he's still a 14-year-old kid, but he has superpowers and he's in a grown-up body.
Right.
And they even have just a very, 6 seconds or so flash reminding us of the famous piano playing scene from Big.
Oh, is that
So,
where they're
yeah.
dancing on the keyboard at
Yeah.
Macy's or whatever?
Yeah, so very, very clever. Let's see if we can lose this guy.
Hey, we got another caller on the line. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning.
It is. Yeah.
Hey, you
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks for calling. Wow, all right. So again, by the way, that Shazam plays at 147, and all of those are in 2D. Of course, you can always find out what's playing and when it's playing and all that kind of good stuff by going on to sawmilltheaters.com and figuring it all out right there. Now, one of the other things that happens once a month on the first Saturday of the month, which is a week from tomorrow, is the Sawmill Theaters has their Classic Movie Saturday. And next week, the classic movie this time around is Blazing Saddles. Now this is going to be a gas.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Really?
Little bunch. But you know, the thing that I think I may have to drive up from Tono Basin just
You
to watch
might.
it, because I've always thought the movie was gut-bustingly funny, but they just don't make them like that anymore. I mean,
No,
because
Mel Brooks is the most un-PC guy.
yeah, I mean, it's so
And he
politically
wrote,
incorrect.
he directed, he wrote the songs. I mean, and he makes fun of everybody equally. It is so un-PC. It would be banned today.
Oh,
maybe
sure.
maybe there will be picketers. I hope not.
So if you snowflakes want to be offended, this is the
really,
place
this
to be.
is it. Really.
I just think that you know, he had so much. There's so many movies that Mel Brooks did that
Yeah.
that I love the humor. I love his style and or lack thereof, I guess. But I think it would be neat to see this one on the big screen
Well,
again.
as a reference, you know, he has a character called Lily von Stupp, who is played by the great, oh, come on, Andy, have a brain fade. She passed away, unfortunately. But,
Wasn't she in Bride of Frankenstein?
Oh, yeah,
too?
she was in, I mean, he had an
Um,
ensemble cast that he used a lot. And, you know, she sings that wonderful song. So she's in the style of Marlene Dietrich. I'm tired of being admired.
No, please. Your name escapes me. It drives me
Yes,
nuts,
I
but
know.
it's a short
We're
trip.
looking it up.
So anyway, that's going on next Saturday.
Yeah, and there's the great Alex Karras.
Yes.
The football linebacker, had his movie debut in this, and he knocks out a horse.
Yes, yes.
He just punches the horse
Yeah.
out.
It was Madeline Kahn.
Madeline Kahn. There you go,
Thank
there you
thank
go.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Actually, said she was nominated for actress in a supporting role.
Wow.
Oh.
Interesting. And
Yeah. This was a
the
cultural event. You know, back in the day, everybody went to see this. I mean, this was just, fabulous.
I think the football player that knocked out the horse got some lessons from Donnie Hawk, but that's a whole other story that some people in Rim Country will know, some people don't need to, and that's okay. We have, sadly, no more time. We got to move on. But we appreciate the movie guys for being with us, and we may have to change after some new branding from Andy McKinney this morning. We may have to change the title to Your Hometown Movie Nerds. We'll find out more next week on that. But thanks to all of you.